Good evening and thanks for joining us, everyone. It is Election Day both here in Ohio and across the U.S. Results are rolling in by the minute as elections officials continue to tally up the votes. Thank you for joining us tonight for a special Recreation and Parks, 32% voting against it. Issue 7, for funding public services, it would pay for sidewalks, street resurfacing, and bridge repairs. And the same exact basically total for this one for public service, 68% to 32%. Issue 8 impacts neighborhood development and affordable housing. Votes a little bit lower in favor of the yeses, but still 66%, an overwhelming majority favoring this one. Again, these votes are just coming in from Franklin County at this time. 2 other counties are also affected by this bond issue. We're tallying up those results and we'll include those a little bit later in this special newscast here on 10 TV Plus. The last bond issue, issue 9, focuses on public utilities. This one even a broader margin of yeses, 70% with 13,705 votes to 30%. This is yeses over the nose by almost 8,000 votes. We'll keep you updated on these issues throughout this election special as more votes are counted, as I mentioned. Now let's get out to our team of reporters, and 10 TV's Colin Dorsey starts our team coverage from downtown Columbus, breaking down the 5 Columbus bond issues, what they'll pay for, what's at stake here. Good evening, Colin.
Doug, good evening. And as you mentioned, where those things stand in Franklin County, at last check in Fairfield and Delaware County, those issues were pretty close together on the yays or nays. But do keep in mind there are many fewer Columbus City residents in either of those counties compared to Fairfield County. Now, because of all of these bond issues are being voted on separately, Columbus City voters could vote to either pass all of these, some of these, or none of them at all. Now, the one that Columbus City officials have spent a lot of time and money on is issue 8. That is the one that would give $500 million to develop affordable income-based housing in the city. Now, the city has already done this before. They did this in 2019 and 2022 for affordable housing, and the fruits of that can be seen at the Topiary Crossing apartments downtown, also the Sinclair apartments on the city's north side. City leaders say this kind of development is needed as more people move in and the cost of living increases.
We have a track record. We have the ability for us to invest in ourselves. With the federal government shut down, in some respects the state government that's MIA, it's a way for us to control our own destiny, create jobs, invest in our neighborhoods, do all that without raising taxes.
Now, the city keeps saying that this will not raise your taxes because of how the city pays down its bond debts. The city of Columbus has a fund set aside of income tax that it brings in and also some public utility money, and it uses that money to pay these down. The only way that the property taxes would be levied on this debt is if for some reason the city of Columbus could not pay down that debt in the same way that it has for decades. The city of Columbus hasn't levied a property tax since 1956. Live from City Hall, Colin Dorsey, 10 TV News. Doug?
Colin, great explanation there of what's on the ballot and breaking down what it would pay for. Well, in Mifflin Township, voters are deciding whether to pass a levy for the police department. Looking at how the numbers stand right now, it's pretty tight, and this is pretty early results coming in. We only have 39 votes being counted at this time, but the yeses are in the lead, 54% to 46%. 10 TV's Carla Rogner has been following this issue very closely for us, and she is live in Mifflin Township tonight with the potential impact of this levy. Carla?
Yeah, Doug, as you mentioned, those votes are still coming in, but we did speak to people as they were voting today who were on both sides of this issue. Some say they don't want to see their taxes go up right now, but others say they want to continue supporting the police department. And now Mifflin Township leaders have warned if this levy does not pass, they could have to close the police department here. Mifflin Township leaders want to use the $400,000 that would be generated to pay for more patrol officers. Right now, the department has been leaning on overtime Franklin County Sheriff's Office officers. FCSO has said going forward, they can only help out now for emergencies. That leaves Mifflin Township without overnight patrol. We spoke to voters at the polls today who stand on both sides of this issue.
I think that we're in a time in the country right now where police departments need to prove what they're doing to their communities in terms of helping them, instead of asking for more and more money, which seems to be every year.
We need the police to protect us, and that's why I voted for it. I'm just concerned about just being safe.
Yeah, back in May, voters here rejected a similar levy. We're still waiting tonight to see how voters decided this time around. We're planning to speak with Mifflin Township leaders once we know those results to learn what it means for the future of the police department. Reporting live in Mifflin Township, Carla Rogner, 10 TV News.
Carla, thank you very much. I do want to point out we also have results scrolling at the bottom of your screen that are being updated as we speak. In southwestern Franklin County, 2 fire levies in Franklin Township previously failed, leading to cuts in staffing. This year's proposed levy would continue funding for fire service as the current levy is set to expire. So far, the votes show, if we can call those up for you right now, I'm told that they're going to be up on the screen in just a second. All right, well, we're going to move on. The levy was also on some Licking County ballots, so we're going to keep looking for those numbers. We'll bring those to you as soon as we get that glitch figured out that's been holding that up. But let's break down what this issue is about. 10 TV's Rochelle Aline is live at the Franklin Township Firehouse on Sullivan Avenue with what she's seeing tonight, what this is all about. Rochelle?
You know, Doug, folks out here say the stakes are pretty high when it comes to whether or not that levy is going to pass. Again, they've had several levies fail in the past, and they've had to close their other fire station on Frank Road because of it. They're now down to this one on Sullivan Avenue. They say, again, because they have a current levy that expires at the end of the year, if this one doesn't pass, there's a good chance they're going to have to close this station down as well. That said, leaders here in the township say they're also looking at other ways to balance their budget. They say that because that other station closed down, the number of calls out of this station has doubled from about 6,000 to 12,000, but the majority of those calls are in the city of Columbus. They're now trying to decide if they're going to focus on local emergency calls or ask for the city of Columbus to help pay for those responses. We asked Mayor Andrew Ginther about that back in July, and he told us he was open to a conversation. I'm going to send it back to you, Doug.
Michelle, thank you so much for that report. I believe we do have the numbers that we can bring our folks for the township, the Franklin Township fire levy renewal and increase right now. Very early voting. Once again, just about 100 votes cast so far. Yes is in the lead, 54% to 46%. We'll keep updating these as we get more votes into our newsroom. Another fire levy we are watching closely is in Jackson Township. This is for a 4 mil renewal. If passed, it would cost the owner of a $300,000 home $240 a year. Voters there have cast their ballots, and we can bring those up for you as well right now. And here it is, the Blendon Township Police Levy. The additional is 66% in favor of this right now with 200 votes there, 105 voting against it for 34% of no's. And voters in Blendon Township have cast their votes on that property tax levy for their police department. The chief of police says the money is needed to both maintain staff and grow. Again, these are early votes with yeses leading the no's by 95 so far. Now, 10 TV's Kevin Landers is live outside the Blendon Township Police Station with why leaders say the township needs this money. Kevin?
Yeah, good evening, Doug. You know, you just mentioned those numbers. Still too early to tell exactly how this levy is going to go, whether it's for or against. If it was right now, considering the numbers, people in Blendon Township would be happy if they were voting for this. But right now, it's just simply not enough tallies in the box right now to determine how this will all shape up. The chief here, John Belford, says there are about 13 police officers here on duty, but he's concerned about the volume of calls considering he just has 2 cruisers per shift, and that's a concern when it comes to response time. If the levy fails, Belfer says the department will be forced to lay off 4 officers, reducing the force by nearly a third. A recent study found that the department actually needs 4 more officers to meet the demand. Residents currently pay $246 per 100,000 of assessed home value. The new levy would increase that by $157, bringing the total to $403 annually per $100,000 in value. Now, if this levy does not pass, the chief has said he's looking at grant money to try to meet for the shortfall. But at this point, no one exactly knows how this is all going to turn out, and we will be here until the final vote is cast. Reporting live in Blendon Township, Kevin Landers, 10 TV News.
That's right, Kevin. We'll keep those numbers updating at the bottom of the screen. Also today on 10 TV News at 11, we'll have a lot of election coverage and results coming up then as well. Well, coming up, we're looking at the levies affecting Central Ohio schools. We're breaking down what a passing vote means for school districts, including Westerville and Olentangy schools. And it's not only Election Day here in Ohio. We're looking at some key races in other states that could have a national impact. Our team at 10 TV is updating results by the minute. To get the latest results sent to your phone, just text the word election to the number on your screen, 614-460-3345. We'll be back with more of our special election coverage here on 10 TV Plus in 2 minutes. I'm Doug Petcash. Well, there are many school board races and school levies on the ballot this year. In Westerville, voters are deciding on an income tax levy. The district says if this issue does not pass, major cuts are on the way. Let's start with a live look at the results for the Westerville City Schools income tax levy. Right now, the yeses have a firm lead with 64% to the 36% of those who voted no on this issue. But again, this is very early in the vote count at this point. 10 TV's Catherine Simon has been following this race for weeks for us. She's live at Westerville South High School with what's at stake here. Kat?
Doug, results are still coming in right now, but of the ballots that have been counted so far, more voters are saying yes to this income tax than they're saying no. The issue on the ballot was a 0.75% earned income tax, so it would only apply to wages and self-employment income, not retirement, Social Security, unemployment, or interest. The district says their expenses have risen because of inflation, student needs, and state mandates. The district says if this income tax isn't approved, cuts would include eliminating staff positions and increasing pay to participate fees for sports and activities. So again, no clear result just yet. We'll have an update for you later on tonight. Reporting live in Westerville, Catherine Simon, 10 TV News.
Catherine, thank you very much. Yes, very early in the voting right now, just several hundred votes counted in that race so far. Now, some school districts in Central Ohio are working to keep up with increasing student enrollment and are hoping bond issues on the ballot will allow them to build more facilities needed to accommodate that growth. Voters in 2 counties are deciding on this. So this is the first one, Franklin, Olentangy. You're seeing right here, we have 0% counted at this time. Well, 10 TV's Carly Dion joins us now live from Lewis Center as we wait for the results on that race with more on the Olentangy School District bond issue and what's on this ballot and what's at stake. Carly?
Well, Doug, with this bond issue, the good news for taxpayers is that it would not increase tax rates if it passes. Now, the district plans to use this bond to fund the construction of a new high school and elementary school. The bond would use $235 million for the construction of these buildings. If it passes, construction would begin next year with completion of the elementary school targeted for 2027 and the high school in 2028. Now, the district says student enrollment is projected to increase by more than 2,000 students by the 2028-2029 school year. Doug?
2,000 students in just a couple years. Carly, thank you. And we want to bring back 10 TV's Carly Dion, as you just saw her there. She's also keeping an eye on the Southwest Licking Schools bond issue. Before we go back to you, Carly, why don't you first of all just tell us what's at stake in that race as far as what Southwest Licking's bond would do?
Well, Doug, unlike the Olentangy Schools bond issue, the Southwest Licking bond issue would increase taxes for taxpayers, and it would cost them about $10.16 per month per $100,000 of home value. Now, this ask is about $2 less per month than the bond issue on the May ballot, which failed. If it passes, it would allow the district to construct a new 5th and 6th grade building, as well as a new wing at Watkins Memorial High School and additional parking spaces there. Now, Superintendent Dr. Casey Perkins previously told us the district is already at max capacity and still growing. Doug?
Carly, thank you very much. We saw some of the results there very early on in this race right now. Only about 50 votes counted so far. It had 88% of those were no's, but again, just very, very early in the vote count on that particular issue. We turn now to Pickerington, where officials say a problem with a ballot was discovered this morning. The issue impacted the race for the school board. And here is the race results so far in that Pickerington school board race. Right now, Brooke LaGrasso is in the lead with 31% of the vote, followed by Ryan Holstein at 23%, as well as Toby Sidorsky with 23%. And there are the rest of the results in the Franklin-Pickerington school board race in Franklin County. This race also stretches into Fairfield County, and here's the vote tally in that area so far. Again, Brooke LaGrasso and Ryan Holstein, in the lead, and the votes coming in from Fairfield County for the Pickerington school board race. 7 candidates are vying for those seats tonight, one candidate being Charles Newman. Fairfield County elections officials tell us, 10 TV, that Newman was accidentally omitted from ballots in 5 precincts inside 3 polling locations. Those are on your screen right now. Officials say this impacted close to 600 ballots, so paper ballots were then used at those locations. Newman's team got back to us saying they are, quote, deeply concerned about the potential impact this error will have on voter confidence. The Board of Elections says per Ohio law, once a ballot is cast, it cannot be recast. It's unclear how many of those 600 ballots had already been used before the error was caught. Tonight, 2 candidates are vying for a Columbus City Council seat to represent District 7. District 7 covers parts of downtown Columbus. The 2 candidates voters are choosing between tonight are Tiara Ross and Jesse Vogel. Very close race here. Ross is an assistant city attorney with the Columbus City Attorney's Property Action Team, and Vogel is an immigration attorney in the city. Right now, it's 50% to 50%. Jesse Vogel slightly in the lead there by just a few hundred votes at this time. But again, 50 to 50 right there. It's a hotly contested race and has been, and it looks like it's going to go down to the wire as well. 6 candidates are on the ballot for the Columbus City Schools Board of Education. Only 3 spots are open. Right now, the 3 candidates with the most votes don't know right now, but this is the Franklin Adam H. levy, which is for mental health services throughout the county. And right now, the yeses here are overwhelmingly in front of the noes by 68%. And there are a lot of votes reporting in this race. It looks like more than 60,000 votes already counted. 22,000 votes separate the yeses from the noes on this mental health levy. And there are races that are happening outside of Ohio that are being watched very closely. Elections in places including New York, New Jersey, and Virginia. It's the first major test for both parties since President Trump won his second term. The race for mayor in New York City has three candidates: former Governor Andrew Cuomo, a Democrat running as an independent; Zohran Mamdani, a self-proclaimed Democratic socialist; and Republican Curtis Sliwa. President Trump has publicly backed Cuomo. Polls there just closed at 9 o'clock.
It's time now for a new day in our politics.
The president does not support me. The president opposes Zohran Mamdani.
And in a tight race for New Jersey governor, voters are choosing between Democratic Congresswoman Mikey Sherrill and Republican Jack Ciattarelli. Ciattarelli was endorsed by President Trump. Democratic Congresswoman Sherrill moved to the Garden State after her Navy career.
It doesn't matter if it's national or local. Every decision that these politicians make affects at some point. It trickles down to your own home.
And in Virginia, former Democratic Congresswoman Abigail Spanberger will be the state's next governor. She was up against Republican Lieutenant Governor Winsome Earl Sears. President Trump encouraged Virginians to vote Republican, but he did not formally endorse Earl Sears, his party's candidate for governor. Coming up, we're bringing you the latest election updates with a live look at the numbers coming in from the polls. Our team at 10 TV is updating those results all night long. To get the latest results sent right to your phone, just text the word election to 614-460-3345. And a reminder tonight, our 10 TV Listens Town Hall returns to the Hilltop neighborhood this month. We'll be at the Hilltop Early Learning Center at 45 Clarendon Avenue on November 12th. We not only want to hear your issues and concerns, but what's changed since we visited last year. Doors open at 5:30. The town hall starts at 6, and we hope to see you there. We'll be right back. And welcome back. We're going to take another last look at the latest results coming in tonight on Central Ohio's key races and issues. Let's start with a recap of Columbus's $1.9 billion bond package that will fund many different projects in the city of Columbus if it passes. Here is a breakdown of the bond, of all the areas the money would fund and how much would go to different city projects. $500 million for both affordable housing and public utilities, $400 million for public service, $250 million for recreation and parks, another $250 million for safety, health, and infrastructure. And looking at the total for all of Columbus, just updated 5 minutes ago, this includes Franklin, Delaware, and Fairfield counties. To pass, all county votes will be counted. And here is the breakdown so far. All are passing by a large margin. And Franklin County does have the most residents in the city of Columbus, so those residents' votes will carry this bond. But you can see the green column right there are the yes votes, the 4 votes for these 5 different bond issues. All of them in the 33 to 37,000 range for the yes votes, and the no votes just in the teens at this time. So it appears, but still early voting, that these bond issues, all 5 of them, are likely to pass. But this has not been officially called at this time. Let's check back in on the Mifflin Township Police Department levy. As we've mentioned, they are asking for funding help. The $5.57 million levy would cost the owner of a $100,000 home $195 per year. Still very early in the vote count here, with only 39 votes being counted so far, and the yeses have 54% of those to 46% of the noes. The numbers coming in so far tonight in Blendon Township for the police levy. On that $4.48 million levy that's on the ballot, the police chief said if the measure doesn't pass, 4 officers will be laid off. If it does pass, it will cost the owner of a $100,000 home $157 per year. Right now, yes is in the lead with 66% of the votes supporting the police levy in Blendon Township, 34% saying no. Checking back in on Franklin Township right now, the proposed levy is a renewal and an increase for a total of $6.9 million. It comes after failed levy attempts last November and May forced the township to close one of its 2 fire stations and lay off several firefighters. If this passes, the levy will cost the owner about $137 a year for every $100,000 of assessed value for 5 years. Right now, still early voting there, 54% saying yes. Another fire levy we will continue to watch closely is in Jackson Township. This is a renewal of 4 mills. If it passes, it would cost the owner of a $100,000 home $80 per year, or $80 per $100,000 of taxable value. Right now, this is very much supported. 82% of people voting have said yes to the Jackson Township fire levy, with only 18% voting no. And this looks like about 1,500 people have cast ballots on this issue that have been counted so far. And when it comes to school funding, a lot of local districts put funding levies on the ballot, including Westerville City Schools. The 0.75% income tax levy would generate just over $24 million a year. The issue is only limited to early income like wages and salaries and would not apply to things such as Social Security and retirement funds. We don't have any results on this levy at this time. Check back with us throughout the evening on 10tv.com as well as our 11 o'clock news, and we're going to continue to have results scrolling at the bottom of the screen as well. Well, 6 candidates are on the ballot for the Columbus City Schools Board of Education. This is one we weren't able to get to a little bit early, but only 3 spots are open. So we want to show you right now the 3 candidates with the most votes at this time. They are Antoinette Miranda and Patrick Katzenmeyer at 25% and 23%. Close behind is Jermaine Kennedy at 22%. Janice Keys and Kimberly Mason have 10% of the votes at this time, and Munir Lynch 8%. So again, this is in Franklin County, the Columbus School Board race right there, early voting numbers, and those were your results on that. As more votes are counted, our 10 TV team will continue to update you on the latest results. Our coverage, of course, does not end here. Our team will continue to work through the night to get you the latest live results, and you can find those on our website. We'll also have a wrap-up of election results tonight on 10 TV News at 11 with continued live team coverage. For now, I'm Doug Petcash. Thank you for watching this special election coverage here on 10 TV Plus. And again, we'll see you in about an hour and a half for 10 TV News at 11. Good night.
Well, it is Election Day 2025. The polls are closed, and now it's time to share the results we have with you. Good evening, and thank you for joining us on this election edition of 10 TV News at 11. I'm Yolanda Harris.
And I'm Jeff Hogan. It's great to have you with us tonight. Tonight's races are all the local issues. We have team coverage, 6 crews spread out all over Central Ohio, covering the issues you have told us you care about the most and are most impactful for you.
All right, well, first tonight we want to start with 5 different Columbus bond issues. Now, the results for all 5 issues passed in Delaware and Fairfield counties, but Franklin County is still seeing results tonight. So here are the results for issue 5, focused on health, safety, and infrastructure. If you take a look here, it is passing by 64% of the vote, with 84% reporting. And right now, the yes votes are leading by more than 28,000 votes.
And as we take a look up next, issue 6. Now, this is the recreation and parks issue, as you see right here, and 44,000 votes is the difference here. So this is just a landslide here on the yes votes, with 84% of the precincts reporting, leading 71% to 29%.
All right, let's take a look at issue 7 now. This one is about public service. We're talking about $400 million here. And this particular issue 7 is about public service. And we're looking at the Franklin County results here. Right now, this one is passing as well and leading by a good percentage here. 69% of the votes they have, with 84% of precincts reporting.
Give you the results for issue 8. Now, this is the neighborhood development and affordable housing. There's $500,000 at stake for this. Opportunities for affordable home ownership, income quality, affordable rentals, things like that. It's a big yes as well. As you see right here, 67% over 33%, with 84% again of those precincts reporting.
And finally, here are the results for issue 9. This is public utilities. This is about making sure the pipes and the wires and the systems that deliver clean water, take away waste, and provide power are improved or replaced. Right now, that's passing as well, with 84% of precincts reporting, by leading a little more than 44,000 votes in the lead here with the yes votes.
All right, we're going to send it out to 10 TV's Colin Dorsey with what we can say right now about the total results, because we're talking about 3 different counties here, and all for each individual one of these issues. All the counties will have to come in with a yes vote or no vote if it's going to pass. Colin.
Yeah, Jeff, Yolanda, you guys kind of went through it there, and I think at this time it is safe to say these issues, all 5 of them, are projected to pass. We do know Delaware and Fairfield County both voted yes on all 5 of these. We are still waiting on those final results out of Franklin County. Now, Delaware and Fairfield County, they don't have that many Columbus City voters, about 1,500 to 2,000 that were registered to vote in this election. So, looking at those Columbus votes, 84% of precincts reporting. The precincts that are left really aren't that many left in order to flip those totals. So let's talk about those issues at hand. The biggest one that the city of Columbus has spent time on, that's issue 8. That is that housing bond, $500 million to build affordable income-based housing. The city's already done this in the past. They did it in 2019 and 2022. That built the Topiary Crossing apartments in downtown, also the Sinclair apartments up on the north end. Money is also being spent building affordable housing at the YMCA, the old YMCA, on Long Street here in Columbus. That project just got underway. So the big question that we've had about this is, well, how is this getting paid for? It's not coming out of your property taxes. There has been some confusion about where does that language that you read in your ballot come from. Well, the city of Columbus sets aside income tax money to help pay for this, also along with some public utilities money as well. So I will be sitting down with Mayor Andrew Ginther tomorrow afternoon to discuss more on these bond issues, how the money is going to be spent, what for, and answer some of those tax questions. For now, live from City Hall, Colin Dorsey, 10 TV News.
All right, thank you very much, Colin. Well, next we move to the Franklin Township fire levy, with 100% of precincts reporting. You can see that this has passed. Now, you're looking at this, and this is what the township trustees, they wanted to do a continuing fire and emergency services property tax levy. And that's going to add about $513 annually for every $100,000 of appraised value of your home. So you're looking here, these are the results here in, was this Franklin County? And in Licking County, We're going to take a look at those results as well. Yep, there you go. Passing at this point with 107 more votes than those voting against it. And this is ongoing. So 10 TV's Rochelle Aline, she shares more on this decision tonight.
I spoke to a township trustee who says he's grateful. He says that this is a temporary levy, though, that will run out in about 4 years. The money from this levy will keep their remaining fire station open. But in order to reopen their other location on Frank Road, we were told that they would have to put another levy on an upcoming ballot. He's hoping to use a special kind of levy for that. It would allow the township to pull tax dollars from people who live here and from those who have been annexed out of the township as far back as 2004. He says by expanding the tax base in that way, they'd spread out the cost of fire services among many more people. Now, there's no word on when that kind of levy could be put on an upcoming ballot. Right now, people here in the township are just happy this current levy has passed. For now, in Franklin Township, Rochelle Aline, 10 TV News.
Rochelle, thanks for that. Next up, we want to look at the results for the Mifflin Township Police Levy. Now, we talked a lot about this week leading up to this. Here are the results right now. The voters have rejected this levy to fund the police department. It's 145 people voted against the tax levy, 120 people voted for it. So that goes in the no column, and 10 TV's Carla Rogner shares what this means for that department. Carla.
I just spoke to the Mifflin Township trustee chair, and he says he's disappointed. He was expecting this to be a close race, but he believed that the levy would pass. Now, Mifflin Township leaders had warned that if this levy fails, they could have to dissolve the police department. They were hoping to use this money to fund more patrol officers. They've been short-staffed since 2 of their 6 officers were shot and injured in May. Franklin County Sheriff's deputies had been working overtime to fill in the gaps, but they say they will now only be available for emergencies. The township trustee chair can't say for certain if this means that the police department will now close. He says now township leaders will have to reevaluate with their financial and their legal teams to determine what happens next. Reporting in Mifflin Township, Carla Rogner, 10 TV News.
All right, thank you, Carla. All right, the next police levy that we're watching tonight is Blendon Township, and here are the results of that. This is Blendon Township, the police levy. Now, this has passed with 100% of precincts reporting. If this levy had not passed, it was another continuing tax levy. Had it not passed, they would have had some layoffs there at that police department. Specifically, up to 4 officers could have been laid off. So we've saved some jobs there. Voters there in Blendon Township saved some jobs tonight. 10 TV's Kevin Landers is live there tonight with what this means. Kevin?
Yeah, a huge sigh of relief here in Blendon Township as this police levy passes. The police chief tells us he has 13 officers. Had it failed, he would have laid off 4. Now he gets to hire 4 officers. He said the problem is the increasing volume of calls simply was too large for him to feel comfortable about being able to respond in time. Now he believes that he will have more than 2 officers per shift patrolling this area. This was the 3rd attempt to pass a property tax levy to fund the police department. It passed, and now the police department moves on with more officers. Reporting live in Blendon Township, Kevin Landers, 10 TV News.
Next up, I want to take a look at some school levies and bond issues. First up, this is a look at Westerville schools. Okay, these results are from Franklin County because it spans over Westerville schools into Delaware County as well. So you can see right here, the yeses right there with 90% of the precincts reporting this is a Franklin County portion of Westerville City Schools. It's 63 to 37 in the yes. Now, this is all about an earned income tax, 0.75% to generate some of that new revenue. I want to flip it over now to the Delaware County side of things to take a look at where that stands. Now, that is in the yes column as well right now with 77% precincts reporting. 57 to 43% are the numbers that you see right there. And this is all to generate that revenue to avoid cutting some programs and to have to increase costs. So this is one of those continuing levies as well that will be in effect indefinitely if it is voted yes, which is where it stands right now. 10 TV's Catherine Simon is live for us in Westerville right now with this levy and where it stands, how close it is to being passed. Catherine.
Jeff, voters who live in the Westerville City School District are projected to approve an income tax levy to help fund the school. The district says it'll generate about $24.3 million a year, allowing the district to maintain its class sizes, keep extra programming, and avoid layoffs. It's a 0.75% earned income tax, so it would only apply to wages and self-employment income, not retirement, Social Security benefits, unemployment, or interest. And anyone who lives within the Westerville School District, including renters, will pay the tax. Now, the district superintendent released a statement just minutes ago saying, in part, we're deeply thankful to our community for recognizing the importance of our public schools. This support allows us to maintain the high-quality programs, services, and staff that make Westerville City Schools such a special place for students to learn and grow. On the opposing side, Doug Krinsky, who was a leader on the vote no to the income tax side, said in a statement, "It appears that the Westerville Schools earned income tax has passed. We want to thank all the folks who campaigned for residents to vote no. We hope the district will spend these hard-earned tax dollars wisely." And we'll continue to follow this tonight and tomorrow. Jeff, Yolanda.
All right, thank you very much. All right, next up, we are looking at two different counties for the Olentangy local schools bond issue, and we're going to take a look at those results. And let's see when we have those. Overall results do reveal that this is projected to pass. So this is the Olentangy local schools bond issue. Two different counties voting on this one. Again, it is projected to pass.
This is $62 per $100,000 of appraised value of a home. So that was what they were trying to push through with that levy for Olentangy schools, and it does. It spans two counties, Licking County and Delaware County as well. So we don't have the results for either of those right now popping in, but projected to pass is what we understand from there. And we can jump out right now to Carly Dion, who's reporting on this live in Lewis Center right now, looking at both sides of this issue. Carly?
Well, Jeff and Yolanda, both school districts are hoping to build new buildings with these bond issues, and now it looks like that may be happening for the Olentangy School District. And with their bond issue, it's a no new millage bond issue, meaning it will not increase taxes, and it will generate $235 million to construct a new high school and elementary school, and construction will start as soon as next year. Now, for the Southwest Licking schools, the district says it would cost taxpayers $10.16 per month for every $100,000 of home value. This ask is slightly less than the bond issue on the May ballot, which failed. This would allow the district to construct a new 5th and 6th grade building, as well as a new wing at Watkins Memorial High School and additional parking spaces there. Now, we will continue to follow these results tonight as they come in, but for now, live in Lewis Center, Carly Dion, 10 TV News.
All right, thank you very much, Carly.
Carly, appreciate that, and it looks like that's on its way to a decisive win there. Now, if you want to see all the results, just text the word election to the number on your screen there, 614-460-3345. We will send you a link to the results right on your phone.